There's a little dissension on the Democrat side about ISIS. This is actually from late last week, although Dianne Feinstein showed up again on Sunday on Face the Nation to talk about it. She is adamantly opposed to Obama's ISIS strategy because she doesn't think there is one. She doesn't believe Obama's ISIS strategy will solve the problem, and she is through being silent about it. John Dickerson had her on the TV on Sunday, said, look, you've been skeptical of the regime's approach to handling ISIS. Did the briefing from Secretary Kerry make you think that that approach is sufficient to the job at the moment?
I don't think the approach is sufficient to the job. I think there are general principles, and there are general principles in terms of the administration strategy, too. But I'm concerned that we don't have the time, and we don't have years. We need to be aggressive now, because ISIL is a quasi-state. ISIL has 30,000 fighters. It's got a civil infrastructure. It's got funding. It's spreading in other countries, and it's a big, big problem.
Hey, and don't forget the big news we had on Friday, folks. ISIS now has health care. Remember? And ISIS also has sanitary restaurants with ISIS-regulated food inspectors, so that when you go to an ISIS-run restaurant or a restaurant in an ISIS-run town, you can be confident the food is hygienic and the establishment is clean, because ISIS is great. They understand regulatory reform and regulatory systems, and in addition to that, if you're a member of ISIS, you get health care. And that means ISIS, they're really great, and they're entrenching. And they have become a state. For all intents and purposes, a quasi-nation state is what she means. And this civil infrastructure, meaning they've got sanitation. I mean, don't even have that in half of Gaza. And they've got clean water, running water, all this stuff. I mean, these are great guys. They really care for their supporters, folks. This is the message. ISIS is a compassionate bunch of people. The only problem you have with ISIS is if you disagree with them. Then they'll cut your head off. But at least they don't waterboard. At least they haven't sunk to that depth. They may behead you, but they won't waterboard you first. They're not nearly as bad as George W. Bush. Well, Dickerson then said to Di Fei, so, well, does all that suggest that you think the regime has been too cautious about ISIS, lacks a sense of urgency about them?
What I'm saying is this has gone on too long now, and it has not gotten better. It's gotten worse. Yeah. There may be some land held by ISIL in Iraq and Syria that's been taken back. But for all of that, there's much more they have gained in other countries. So I think we need a specific, larger special operations plan. A group of 50 is fine for what they're doing so far, but it's not going to solve the problem.
So Di Fei severing ties with the regime on how to deal with ISIS, which, according to Obama, they're just a bunch of killers with good social media skills. I guess what he means by that is they're just a bunch of killers, but because they're so good on social media, they make themselves look bigger than they really are. Because they're still the JV team. And he's still maintaining that they're contained. I mean, he's living in full denial over this as he continues to rely on the drive-bys to promote whatever position he takes.